right. Okay, well, I'm going to read something to you. This is dated April 23rd, 2009. This is before I moved to Florida and we were defrauded out of our house and business by the Fundamental Baptist Mafia. This is a letter from Brian Bruns, medical doctor, psychiatrist in San Diego, California. Okay, he's a diplomat of the American Board of Psychiatry and Adult, Child, and Forensic Psychiatry and Psychoanalysis. So he's writing a letter when I went to court to try to fight for my son. This is what I'm getting. Now, this is the guy that's been drugging my son since age 2 with lithium, with all these Nazi Project MK Ultra drugs. And the reason I'm doing this is I want to see if anyone else has had any similar experiences with this Dr. Mengele over here. The original Dr. Mengele was the Nazi SS officer that was in charge of doing all these mind control experiments. And God damn it. Okay, sorry. My screen went out for a second. Sorry about the expletive. So this original Dr. Mengele was the one that did all these torture experiments with twins and stuff like that. A lot of the literature from all those covert government files are being, they were classified for a really long time, and now they've been declassified, many of them. But now they're saying that these drugs like lithium and stuff like that, that are used in treatment of medical conditions, which is a complete lie. But here's this guy. Now this, I've been told, and I strongly suspect this as well, that this guy is a Nazi doctor. This guy, I strongly suspect that he's tied into this Satanism that's torturing children. Now I'm going to name 2 other doctors that are treating my son. Dr. Loen Fajerman, I'll put the name on the bottom, and Dr. Dick Buccigross of the, my son was interned at a Sharp Mesa Hospital in San Diego 3 times. Okay, yeah, Sharp Mesa Vista. So let me read the letter. This is, this doctor was trying to help her to prevent me from ever seeing my son. Now this was in 2009, this was after 8 years of me chasing the woman with her constantly hiding and changing her address and playing all these shenanigans so I could never file a case with family court. Okay, I have evaluated and treated Blake since May 21st of 2003, so my son was 2 years old, for bipolar disorder. He has been a very hard to treat due to extremes of his mood swings and behavior. He made a typo there. So extreme mood swings and behavior. He's been hospitalized 3 times at Sharp Mesa Vista for violent behavior and hallucinations. Okay. Now they're claiming over here that he was hallucinating. Now this is when he started throwing furniture at the mother and stuff like that. They claim it's a hallucination. Now, if, for example, if I had my son with me at the time, and he started acting up, then it would have been something else. It wouldn't have been a hallucination. I am sure of that. He was seen by Dr. Loen Fajerman and Dr. Dick Buccigross, both board-certified child psychiatrists, who agreed with my diagnosis and treatment. That's paragraph 1. There's only one more paragraph. Blake, who's my son's name, bonded and identifies with Mark Hendricks as his father. Now this is the guy that I'm told that he's one of my son's handlers regarding the Satanic Ritual Abuse. And watch the woman try to say that I'm violating some kind of HIPAA laws or something by stating this. I guess this is a matter of court record. It's a matter of public record. So, so this is one of his handlers. He was his mother's partner from 2000, and they separated in November 2006. Now, she was already dating the guy. When this woman drugged me and raped me, this man, she was already seeing him. And she was seeing like 5 other guys. So I know that she herself is a multiple. What she was doing with all these different people, I don't know. I've seen a lot of videos about women that are, she's a multi-generational, multiple personality disorder, bride of Satan, I've been told. And when I first confronted her the first few times, she never even denied it. But of course, here in town, they say that satanic ritual abuse does not exist. Why? Because it's being practiced so widely. If you read books by people that were programmers like Cisco Wheeler, Fritz Sprihgmeyer, and all these people that were very involved in it, they say that they used a lot of military bases here all over the United States to do a lot of this programming, and you would be shocked at what they say. Kids put in cages by the hundreds, being mass processed, electric cages. I mean, you have that video with Bohemian Grove, all of our leaders, politicians, presidents, governors, heads of the media, from all over the world doing human sacrifice. They claim it's a mock human sacrifice. Even on their brochure, they're sacrificing a child. And there's videos out there. I'm happy to put a link if anyone has any questions. In fact, I will put some links. It was Alex Jones that went in there to Bohemian Grove to record a lot of this. Now, they're saying that it was a mock human sacrifice to the Babylonian god Molech, right? And other people are saying that there was nothing mock about it, that they, in fact, were doing human sacrifices. So, I don't know. I wasn't there. You be the judge of that one. He kept seeing Blake until February 2008. So they broke up in 2006, but he saw my son for 2 more years. Blake has no bond with, and then they mention me, his biological father's name. They're not even saying I'm a person. That's just my name. And the woman said, she said this many times, I actually have her recorded, that I'm just a sperm donor. She calls me a sperm donor, the mother of my son, June Hunter. She says that I'm a sperm donor that has no right to my son and that I'm not his father. I'm just a sperm donor. His father is this Mark Hendricks, who I've been told is his handler, that's been helping her with programming him with all this ritual satanic abuse and torture and all that. And then she says that I'm just a seed donor, but that I'm responsible for 50% of all of his expenses, if not more, if I don't have any visitation. So not only has she denied me visitation the whole life of my son, but she says that I'm responsible for his finances, though I'm never to have any kind of relationship with him. And on top of that, she ruins my career. She blackballs me as a scientific consultant in the biotech industry, and then she goes after the family business, pretending to be a bride that we ruin all these different weddings for her. Isn't she a charmer, this June Hunter? Okay, when I ask him about, and then he mentions me, he states, I don't want to see him. That's what Dr. Mengele over here says, that he doesn't want to see me. Now, he's never seen me. Now, we took care of him for a few months when he was born, and I'm sure he has no recollection of that, or maybe subconscious he does. But he'd never seen me. I talked to him on the phone once, and I told him I was his father, and he was shocked because he thought his handler, this Mark Hendricks, was his father. Now, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know anything about this woman. Maybe someone can tell me who this Mark Hendricks is. All I know is that he was an air traffic controller in San Diego, that he's former military, and that he lived with a woman for a really long time. And I guess he likes to jet ski. That's all I know about him. Apparently, he owns his own house in East County, San Diego. Other than that, I know nothing about him. Maybe you can help me, because the police won't. When I went to them with charges of satanic ritual abuse for them to investigate, they sent over sheriffs, a whole bunch of sheriffs, to my court hearing to harass me and to interfere with my court hearing and to tell me whether I'm hearing voices in my head or whether I'm, sane for saying that my son is a victim of satanic ritual abuse, that they claim it doesn't exist. It's I guess it's an urban myth. I guess all these people that have written books about it, and all these people, millions of people all over the world that have sought help for satanic ritual abuse, I guess they're just imagining things. They have this thing called false memory syndrome, that the guy that came up with that term, a psychiatrist, was a pedophile and a supporter of NAMBLA, the Man Boy Love Association, and he was also a practicing Satanist. But hey, if he says it doesn't exist and it's a false memory, then we have to believe this pedophile and Satanist that he's telling the truth. I don't want to see him. Now, this is what they're saying. Now, these children, mind you, when they practice these horrific acts, and I've been told that my son has been subjected to human sacrifice rituals and all kinds of satanic rituals where, they cannibalize the body and eat it up and things that would just give you nightmares if I told you any more. Okay? But it doesn't exist. According to this city, it doesn't exist. Even though in the 80s, all this thing came up and there were all these lawsuits and all these people came forward. And then in 92, they shut it up. They got the newspapers to say it didn't exist. And even doctors that were trying to have meetings here in town, workshops on, on ritual abuse, the DA's office went in there to try to shut them up. So Ted Gunderson, former FBI chief, says that there's a covert element within the government that's covering it up, that they're actually part of it. And I believe this Dr. Mengele, Brian Bruns, and these other psychiatrists are doing that. Leon Fajerman, Dick Buccigross, and Brian Bruns, because they kept me from my son all these years with lies. Then he's mentioning my name. I have never been a part of Blake's life. Yeah, because she kept me from him with hiding all these years and moving around and saying that I didn't serve her documents and all this crap and threats. And watch this. It would be detrimental to Blake, who is very fragile psychologically, to be forced into such a relationship now. So that's what he's saying. Now this is the doctor that's drugging my son for torture. And he's saying it would be detrimental for me. Why? Well, because he's very fragile psychologically, and he just doesn't identify with him as his father because his handler is his father. And it would just be detrimental to force him into such a relationship at this time. So Dr. Mengele over here, Dr. Bruns, claims that it would be detrimental to my son's health because he's very fragile psychologically because of all the satanic torture and ritual abuse and all the drugs that he's been subjected to. But the woman, this satanic, high satanic priestess that's his mother, she's got homosexuals in her house all the time. And she's whoring around ever since she finished with this guy. She's been banging all these different men. She's been having casual sexual relationships with all these men. So this kid doesn't even know who his father is. Because there's a revolving door of men coming in and out of her life having sex with. But this Nazi doctor will say that I can't see my son. If you can believe that. So any information that you have on Dr. Mengele is Dr. Brian Bruns. I suspect that he's very involved in the satanic abuse of a lot of people. And we're going to file a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against this guy and all the other people that have been drugging my son, ritually abusing him and all that. So that's about all I wanted to say. I appreciate your prayers. The law over here doesn't recognize satanic ritual abuse, so I wouldn't be surprised if they come back and try to get me for harassment. It's kind of like you get ran over by a hit and run, and then they get you for jaywalking. All right, thanks.